The girl that you choose to make your girlfriend can either be the best decision of your life or the worst decision of your life. The reality is the woman that you date is not only going to affect the relationship and love side of your life, it's going to affect your business or career, whatever you're pursuing. It's going to affect your happiness. It's going to affect your purpose. It's going to affect the progress that you're making in life as a young man. In order to illustrate this, we're going to look at a case study from one of my best friends. So me and him went to this smaller college, and he was talking to this girl who was in a sorority at a bigger university who went to like a school out of state from us. And they were doing this long distance thing for some time, and I could tell like there were some traits that he really liked about her. And she was the type of girl who she was in like a sorority, so she'd go out to parties all the time, go to bars, and she would always text him when she got home from the party. But there was one night where she didn't text him back, and then my friend like checked her location because they shared location with each other, and he noticed that she was at a frat house. Now she ended up saying that like her phone just died and she was there with her friend and one of her friend's boyfriends, but regardless of what happened, it was still a pretty suspicious situation. So anyways, my friend contemplated this decision for a while. Did he want to stay with her? Because she did have some good traits. They had a lot in common, but I could tell this one thing was really eating at him. This one thing was really bothering him, and it was just on his mind and messing with him a lot. So he ended up deciding to cut her off and kind of stop talking to her. And I was actually happy that he made this decision, because it takes a lot of strength as a man to be talking to a woman who you have a lot in common with, who's even showing a lot of high interest in you, but then to cut her off because she doesn't quite meet the standard. The pitfall that so many young men fall into is settling for a woman who doesn't meet their standards. Because think about it, maybe you hadn't got a lot of attraction from women recently, and then one girl finally starts showing some interest in you. She starts hitting you up, she starts texting you, and then you start to fall head over heels in love with her, and you ignore all the red flags, you look past a bunch of things, and then you end up making her your girlfriend and settling for the wrong woman. But the problem with looking past a bunch of red flags is that if you make someone your girlfriend who you're not 100% confident in, you will end up kind of having doubts about that decision and saying like, did I really make the right call? And do you ever want to marry a woman? Do you ever want to be with a woman long-term who you have doubts about? No, of course you don't. You want to be with a woman who matches your values, who you are confident being with, who you have no doubts about, who's your biggest cheerleader. Think of these two different scenarios. The first guy we're going to call Jimmy. Jimmy starts talking to a girl, and then he notices that she's still talking to a bunch of other guys. She still has some exes in the picture. She goes out drinking all the time. She parties all the time. She goes out to the club. And Jimmy's the type of guy who like, he's trying to better himself. He's trying to get on self-improvement and become his best self. But because Jimmy starts dating a girl who's not up to his standards, he ends up falling off. He ends up becoming a worse version of himself. The second guy we're going to call Alexander. Alexander sets extremely high standards for the women that he dates. He goes on a date with some girls and he actually ends up saying no to them because they're not up to his standard. But because Alexander sets the high standard, because he knows what he's looking for and he does not settle for anything less, he waits for the right woman, the absolutely perfect woman. And because of this, they have a beautiful relationship where they have very little problems. They have very little issues, end up getting married, fall in love, and have a beautiful love life. So the lesson that I want you to get from this video is that you have to learn to say no. If a girl is not up to your standard, don't feel like you have to settle for her. And the absolutely beautiful side of this is that when you pick the right woman, when you pick a girl who's your biggest cheerleader, who's really there for you, who's on a similar path, who's going to the gym, who's bettering herself, and you're like, dang, like, that girl is someone that I want to be more like. That girl is someone who inspires me. She's someone who motivates me to be my best self. It is the most beautiful thing in the world. And you know what, bro? It might take some time. You might have to go on a lot of dates. You might have to have a lot of different talking stages to actually find the right girl. But really think about it. Which version of you will be better? The version of you who settles for the girl who is not up to your standard, or the version of you who holds out, the version of you who has the discipline to wait for the right person and waits for the high quality right girl. If you found that this video helped you, be sure to click on the like and subscribe button and also turn on the post notifications so you can see more videos like these. I'll see you for the next video, bro.